What if I told you there's a 1970 Dodge Charger out there, packing 1,650 horsepower that could literally melt your face off? Or a purple Cadillac so wild that ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons made it his personal ride? These aren't your grandfather's classics sitting in some dusty garage. We're talking about retro custom cars and recreations so insane, so over the top, that they make modern supercars look like grocery getters. From movie-famous builds to one-off customs that cost more than most people's houses, these machines represent the absolute pinnacle of American automotive madness. Buckle up, because we're counting down the 10 wildest retro custom cars and classic recreations that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about horsepower and style. Number 1. 1950. Mercury Lead Sled by Sam Barris. Let's kick things off with a car that literally wrote the book on cool. The 1950 Mercury Lead Sled by Sam Barris. Now, if you don't know the Barris name, you're about to get schooled on automotive royalty. Back in the day, when your dad was probably learning to drive, Sam Barris took a stock 50 Mercury and turned it into the definition of West Coast cool. This wasn't just any custom job. This was the car that set the standard for what we now call the lead sled style. Picture this. It's 1950. Eisenhower's in the White House, and most cars look like rolling refrigerators. Then Sam Barris comes along and creates this low, sleek, chopped masterpiece that looks like it's doing 100 miles per hour while sitting still. The roof was chopped, the body was channeled, and every line was smoothed until it flowed like liquid mercury. Pun intended. The process was brutal. They literally used lead to fill body seams and create those impossibly smooth curves. That's where the lead sled name comes from. And trust me, these things were heavy as hell. But when you saw one cruising down Sunset Boulevard with that distinctive rake and those fender skirts, you knew you were looking at automotive art. This particular Mercury became the template that every custom shop in America tried to copy. It influenced everything from the cars in American Graffiti to the hot rods your uncle probably dreamed about building in his garage. Sam Barris didn't just build a car, he created a movement that's still going strong today. Number 2. 1959 Cadillac Cadzilla by Boyd Coddington. Speaking of automotive legends, let's talk about a car that's as famous as the rock star who owns it. Billy Gibbons, Cadzilla. If you've ever seen ZZ Top live, or watched MTV back when they actually played music videos, you've probably seen this purple beast. Boyd Coddington, the master of the smoothie style, took a 1959 Cadillac and turned it into something that looks like it rolled out of a fever dream. This isn't just purple. We're talking about a deep, rich, I spent more on paint than you did on your house. Purple that changes color depending on the light. The build process was insane. Coddington chopped the top, sectioned the body, and created custom everything. The interior is pure luxury. We're talking hand-stitched leather, custom gauges, and enough chrome to blind a pilot. But here's the kicker. Under that smooth hood sits a fuel-injected small block that'll smoke the tires without breaking a sweat. Billy Gibbons didn't just want a show car. He wanted something he could actually drive. And drive it he did. This thing has been spotted everywhere from Texas highways to Hollywood premieres. It's been featured in magazines, TV shows, and music videos, making it one of the most recognizable custom cars on the planet. The attention to detail is what separates the pros from the wannabes. Every body line flows perfectly. Every piece of trim was custom made, and the stance is so perfect it looks like it's defying gravity. This is what happens when unlimited budget meets unlimited talent, and the result is automotive perfection. Number 3. 1934 Ford Red Hills Rod. Now let's talk about a car that proves sometimes the wildest builds come from the most unexpected combinations. The 1934 Ford Red Hills Rod. This isn't your typical street rod, folks. This is what happens when traditional hot rod styling meets modern LS power and hand-sculpted metalwork that would make Michelangelo jealous. The 34 Ford has always been the holy grail of hot rodders. It's got those perfect proportions. Long hood, short deck, and lines that just scream speed. But this particular build takes it to another level entirely. The body has been chopped, channeled, and massaged until every curve flows like it was carved from a single piece of steel. Under the hood, Tradition meets technology with a modern LS engine. Now, some purists might cry foul, but let me tell you something. When you're making north of 500 horsepower with modern reliability, you're not exactly suffering. This thing will run all day at highway speeds, then light up the tires at the next stoplight without missing a beat. The metalwork is where this car really shines. Every panel has been hand-formed, every seam has been smoothed, and the paint job is so deep you could swim in it. The interior combines classic hot rod elements with modern comfort, bucket seats, custom gauges, and a steering wheel that feels like it belongs in a race car. This is the kind of build that takes years to complete and costs more than most people's annual salary. But when you see it rolling down the street, with that distinctive hot rod stance and the sound of American V8 thunder, you understand why some guys spend their entire lives chasing this level of perfection. Number 4. 1967 Ford Mustang Eleanor recreation. All right, let's talk about a car that's probably responsible for more speeding tickets and teenage dreams than any other movie car in history. The 1967 Ford Mustang Eleanor, from Gone in 60 Seconds. Now, I'm not talking about the original 1974 movie that your dad might remember. I'm talking about the 2000 Nicolas Cage version that made every red-blooded American male want to steal cars for a living. This particular Eleanor recreation represents the ultimate tribute to automotive cinema. The real Eleanor wasn't actually a 67 GT500. It was a regular fastback that got the full Hollywood treatment. But this recreation goes even further, with a custom body kit that makes it look like it's ready to outrun the entire LAPD. We're talking about flared fenders, a custom front spoiler, side exhausts, and that distinctive Eleanor stripe package that makes it instantly recognizable from 3 blocks away. Under the hood, this beast packs serious heat. The original movie car had a 351 Windsor, but this recreation steps it up with modern power that'll make your ears ring and your neighbors complain. The suspension has been completely reworked with modern components that can actually handle all that power, unlike the original movie cars that were basically death traps. The interior is pure business. Racing seats, a roll cage, and gauges that look like they belong in a fighter jet. This isn't a show car that sits in a garage. This is a machine built to be driven hard and put away sweaty. What makes Eleanor special isn't just the performance, it's the attitude. This car represents the ultimate American fantasy. The perfect heist, the perfect getaway, and the perfect car to do it in. Every time you see one, you can almost hear that distinctive exhaust note and Hans Zimmer's score playing in the background. Number 5. 1969 Chevrolet Camaro Vicious. Hold on to your hats, because we're about to talk about a car that redefines the word overkill. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro Vicious. This isn't just a resto mod. This is what happens when someone decides that 1,000 horsepower isn't quite enough and throws both a turbocharger and a supercharger at the problem. Let me paint you a picture. It's 1969, muscle cars are king, and the Camaro is Chevy's answer to Ford's Mustang dominance. Fast forward to today, and some mad scientist decided to take that classic first-gen body and stuff it full of enough forced induction to power a small aircraft carrier. The twin-charge setup is absolutely bonkers. We're talking about a supercharger for instant throttle response and a turbocharger for top-end power. The result? Over 1,000 horsepower that hits like a freight train and keeps pulling until you run out of road, courage, or both. The bodywork is classic first-gen Camaro perfection. Those aggressive lines, the cowl induction hood, and a stance that says, "I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum." But look closer, and you'll see the subtle modifications that hint at the monster lurking underneath. Wider fenders to accommodate massive tires, custom exhaust outlets, and cooling vents that actually serve a purpose. Inside, it's all business. Racing seats that'll hold you in place during the inevitable G-force assault. A roll cage for when things go sideways, literally. And enough gauges to monitor every vital sign of this mechanical beast. This is the kind of car that makes insurance companies nervous, and EPA officials break out in cold sweats. It's completely impractical, absolutely unnecessary, and utterly magnificent. In a world of hybrid supercars and electric everything, Vicious represents the last stand of American horsepower excess. Number 6. 1948 Cadillac Cat Attack. Now let's shift gears. and talk about a car that takes the phrase, "bigger is better," to its logical extreme. The 1948 Cadillac Cat Attack. This Pro Street monster proves that sometimes you need to go completely over the top to make a statement. Picture this. Take a 1948 Cadillac, already a massive luxury cruiser, and then decide it needs to look like it could compete at the drag strip. The result is Cat Attack. A car with fins so exaggerated they could probably pick up satellite TV, rear tires so wide they need their own zip code, and a stance so aggressive it looks like it's about to pounce. The Pro Street movement of the 80s was all about taking classic cars and giving them the full drag racing treatment while keeping them street legal. Cat Attack represents the absolute pinnacle of this philosophy. Those massive rear tires aren't just for show. They're there to put down serious power without turning the car into a smoke machine. Under the hood, we're talking about serious big block power. This isn't some mild small block. This is a tire-shredding, pavement-pounding monster that sounds like the apocalypse when you hit the gas. The exhaust note alone is enough to set off car alarms 3 blocks away. The attention to detail is what separates this from a backyard hack job. Every body panel has been massaged to perfection. The paint job is show quality, and even the interior maintains that classic Cadillac luxury while accommodating the full roll cage and racing equipment. This is the kind of car that shows up at cruise nights and immediately becomes the center of attention. Kids point, adults stare, and other car guys either love it or hate it. There's no middle ground with a build this extreme. Number 7. 1965 Lincoln Continental Suicide Door Convertible. Let's take a moment to appreciate true American luxury with the 1965 Lincoln Continental Suicide Door Convertible. This isn't just a car. It's a rolling statement about what America could build when we put our minds to it. The 65 Continental represents the absolute peak of American automotive elegance. Those suicide doors, officially called coach doors by Lincoln's marketing department, weren't just a styling gimmick. They were a statement that said, "We're so confident in our engineering that we'll make doors that open backwards just because we can." This particular example has been given the full modern treatment while maintaining that classic Continental presence. We're talking about air ride suspension that can drop this land yacht to the pavement or raise it up for cruising comfort. The big block V8 under the hood has been massaged for modern reliability while keeping that distinctive Lincoln rumble. The interior is where this car really shines. Picture hand-stitched leather everywhere, real wood trim that came from actual trees, and enough room in the back seat to hold a board meeting. This was the car that presidents rode in, that movie stars were photographed with, and that every successful businessman aspired to own. But here's what makes this build special. It's been modernized without losing its soul. Modern air conditioning keeps you cool, updated electronics keep you connected, and improved brakes ensure you can actually stop this 2.5-ton luxury liner. This is the kind of car that makes you want to put on a suit just to drive to the grocery store. It's got presence, class, and enough style to make a Rolls-Royce look like it's trying too hard. In a world of plastic, fantastic modern luxury cars, the Continental reminds us what real American luxury looks like. 8. 1932 Ford Deuce Coupe, American Graffiti, Replica. Now we're getting into some serious nostalgia territory with the 1932 Ford Deuce Coupe, American Graffiti Replica. If you've never seen American Graffiti, stop what you're doing right now and go watch it. I'll wait. Back? Good. Now you understand why this car is so important. The yellow Deuce Coupe, driven by John Milner, played by Paul Le Mat, wasn't just a car in the movie. It was a character. It represented everything cool about American car culture in the early 60s. And it's been inspiring hot rodders ever since. This replica is built to exact period specifications, which means no modern shortcuts, no billet aluminum, and definitely no fuel injection. We're talking about a flathead V8, period-correct speed equipment, and every detail researched to match what a real hot rodder would have built in 1962. The beauty of the Deuce Coupe is in its simplicity. It's got perfect proportions. That long hood, short deck, and chopped top create a silhouette that's been copied but never improved upon. The stance is pure hot rod, nose down, tail up, and ready to rumble. Under the hood, the flathead V8 might not make modern horsepower numbers, but it's got character that no LS swap can match. That distinctive sound, the way it builds power, and the mechanical symphony of valves, pistons, and carburetors working in harmony. It's automotive poetry. The interior is pure period correct. Bench seat, simple gauges, and a steering wheel that's more like a ship's wheel than anything you'd find in a modern car. No air conditioning, no power steering, and definitely no cup holders. This is driving in its purest form. This car represents a time when hot rodding was about making do with what you had, when every modification was done by hand, and when the local drag strip was the proving ground for your Saturday night efforts. Number 9. 1963 Corvette Split Ray. Let's talk about a car that takes one of America's most iconic sports cars and makes it even better. The 1963 Corvette Split Ray, reimagined. The original 63 split window Corvette is already considered one of the most beautiful cars ever made. But this build proves that sometimes perfection can be improved upon. The 1963 Corvette was revolutionary when it debuted. It was the first Corvette with independent rear suspension, the first with a fiberglass body that actually looked like it belonged on a sports car, and that split rear window made it instantly recognizable. But this modern interpretation takes all those classic elements and amplifies them. The body has been widened to accommodate modern rubber. We're talking about tires that would have been considered racing slicks back in '63. The fender flares are subtle but purposeful, maintaining the car's classic proportions while hinting at the performance lurking underneath. Under the hood, tradition meets technology with a modern LS3 engine. This isn't sacrilege, it's evolution. You get 430 horsepower of modern reliability wrapped in classic Corvette style. The C7 Corvette underpinnings mean this thing handles like a modern supercar while looking like a classic. The interior strikes the perfect balance between vintage charm and modern functionality. Classic Corvette gauges, but with modern accuracy. Vintage-style seats, but with modern support and comfort. It's like stepping back in time while bringing all the benefits of modern engineering with you. What makes this build special is the attention to detail. The split rear window has been maintained, that controversial design element that was only used for 1 year because it blocked rear visibility. But who cares about practicality when you're talking about automotive art? The paint is that classic Riverside red that made the original '63 so iconic, but with modern clear coat technology that'll last decades instead of years. Every piece of chrome has been restored or replaced, and the side pipes give it that distinctive Corvette growl that announces your arrival from 3 blocks away. This is what happens when you take the best of both worlds: classic American sports car styling with modern performance and reliability. It's the kind of car that makes Ferrari owners nervous and Porsche drivers question their life choices. Number 10. 1970 Dodge Charger Tantrum. We're coming to the end of our countdown, and it's time to talk about absolute insanity. The 1970 Dodge Charger Tantrum. Remember that 1,650 horsepower monster I mentioned at the beginning? Well, here it is. And it's every bit as crazy as it sounds. This isn't just a Charger with a big engine. This is a complete reimagining of what a muscle car can be. The body is carbon fiber, the same stuff they use on Formula One cars, which means it's lighter than the original steel body while being infinitely stronger. Under the hood sits a twin-turbo Mercury Marine racing engine. Yes, you heard that right. A boat engine. These marine engines are designed to run at full throttle for hours without breaking a sweat, which makes them perfect for automotive applications where reliability matters as much as power. 1,650 horsepower is a number that's hard to comprehend. To put it in perspective, that's more power than 3 Hellcat Chargers combined. It's enough power to literally lift the front wheels off the ground and keep them there until you run out of road or courage. The suspension has been completely reworked to handle this kind of power. We're talking about components that would be at home on a pro-stock drag car, but engineered to work on the street. The tires are basically racing slicks, with enough tread to keep the DOT happy. This is the kind of car that makes other muscle car owners question their life choices. It's completely impractical, absolutely unnecessary, and utterly magnificent. So there you have it. 10 of the wildest retro custom cars and classic recreations that prove American automotive creativity knows no bounds. From Sam Barris's pioneering lead sled to the 1,650 horsepower insanity of Tantrum, these cars represent the absolute pinnacle of what's possible when unlimited imagination meets unlimited budget. What's your favorite from our countdown? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most incredible custom cars. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up.